So we've been hearing a lot of rumors, probably for about 2 years now, about the Model S getting a refresh. And I think pretty much everyone agrees it's time. If you look at the 2012 Model S and the 2020 Model S, there's not a huge difference, at least aesthetically. Now, of course, some things have changed in the Model S. The interior got a little bit of an upgrade, the front bumper got a facelift, and the performance and range have gotten significantly better, with the Model S touting the best specs of any Tesla out there. But still, I think most people agree. At this point, the difference in price between the Model S and the Model 3 and now the Model Y oftentimes isn't actually worth it. Now, Elon Musk acknowledged this idea of a refreshed Model S on Twitter, saying, quote, "There is no refreshed Model X or Model S coming, only a series of minor ongoing changes. Most significant change in the past few years was to use high-efficiency Model 3 rear drive unit as S/X front drive unit. That went into production 3 months ago." And this is what he said back in July, and this is what we've seen in all Teslas so far. They don't really come out with a new model each year or anything that has significant changes. It's more like little changes over time. Probably the biggest updates we've seen so far have been that front bumper and then the new Raven update, which is what you'll see in 2020. The Raven update brought that drive unit from the Model 3 that Elon mentioned in that tweet. It also brought a new adaptive suspension, as well as an updated range and more efficiency there that is now to 391 miles. Those are all great updates, and 391 miles of range and a 0 to 60 of 2.4 seconds is incredible. But still, the Model S feels old, and rumors persist about it getting an update, so let's get into it. Here are 8 things we expect Tesla to update in the next Model S. So number 1, we expect Tesla to update the user interface and the screen of the Model S, kind of to put it more in line with the design of the Model 3. Now the Model S still has a 17-inch vertical screen that controls most stuff in the car, and that's in the center, along with a second instrument panel screen. And this really has not changed since 2012. Most people agree that regardless of your opinion on if the instrument panel needs to be there or not, that the horizontal display is better than the vertical display. It's easier to control, and the controls just are laid out better on that screen. On top of this, we've actually seen some photos of the Plaid Model S, which we'll get into in a second, with what appears to be a horizontal display on it. So it's very likely that Tesla has been testing it, and they'll probably bring it out soon. We definitely expect to see this in the Model S, but the question is, will Tesla get rid of the instrument panel that is in front of the steering wheel like they did on the Model 3 and Model Y? Or will they keep that? Or will they add a heads-up display? It's definitely a controversial topic, with Model 3 owners saying that they don't miss it, but a lot of car enthusiasts saying you can't not have an instrument panel there. I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla still kept an instrument panel or kept a heads-up display there, since this is their top-of-the-line car, and then they switched the other screen to a horizontal display. On top of this, Electrek actually obtained some Tesla concept art of what this front dash would look like. From these first 2 images, it looks like there isn't that instrument cluster there, but if you look closely on the third image, it shows what it looks like behind the steering wheel, and there actually is an instrument cluster there. So it looks like even if Tesla brings out this horizontal display, they'll probably keep this separate instrument cluster, which definitely makes sense on a high-end car like the Model S. Even though the instrument cluster does look quite a bit smaller, it's probably because they're moving the autopilot visualizations over to the left side of that horizontal display like it is on the Model 3. In my experience driving the Model S for the past week, I think moving it over to the left side of that horizontal display will be much better for the autopilot features. Now number 2 is phone as key, and this is a feature that has been in the Model 3 and now is in the Model Y, where basically your phone connects via Bluetooth to your car. When you walk up towards it, it automatically unlocks, and it lets you control other things on the car. Now for some reason, this still isn't a feature on the Model S or the Model X, and we definitely expect Tesla to add this in the future, especially on a refreshed Model S. Number 3 is new batteries. Now, believe it or not, the Model S actually uses older battery tech for Tesla. They use what they call 18650 batteries, and they have since updated the Model 3 and now the Model Y to use 2170 batteries. Overall, these new batteries are superior, but for Tesla to add them to the Model S, it would actually take a complete redesign of the car, which is why we're not expecting to see that until the car is refreshed. On top of this, we're expecting to hear more about batteries from Tesla in April or May, and they're likely going to come out with batteries that are actually going to replace the newer 2170 batteries on the Model 3 and Model Y. We'll probably see those newer ones on that new Model S. For more updates about battery and Tesla and tech in general, make sure you subscribe to this channel to stay up to date. But now we're moving on to number 4, which is also related to batteries, and believe it or not, it's the fact that the Model S can't actually charge as fast as the Model 3. We fully expect Tesla to bring the new 250 kilowatt charging speeds to the Model S, because currently, if you go to their new V3 superchargers, which are Tesla's fastest superchargers, charging up to rates of 250 kilowatts, if you're in a Model S, you can get up to 200 kilowatts, but if your buddy in a Model 3 who paid half the price as you is next to you at a V3 charger, he's getting 250 kilowatts of charging speed. And that also has to do with that older battery tech, so all of these are going to combine together, and we're going to hear about it on Battery Day and expect to see it in the next Model S. Now, further speaking about batteries brings us to number 5, which is range. Now, currently the Model S in the long-range version can get up to 391 miles of range. Now, of course, that's not real-world range. It's going to get a little bit less than that, but the number that Tesla and everyone is shooting for in an electric car is 400 miles. With Battery Day and a refreshed Model S on the horizon, we fully expect Tesla to hit that 400-mile range. I mean, they're only 9 miles away from it. And 400 miles for an EV is just going to push the technology further into the future, push people's perceptions of EVs, and it's going to be awesome. Clearly, Tesla is going to hit 400 miles of range in the Model S. It's really just a question of time. So, when do you think Tesla is going to hit that ever-elusive number of 400 miles in their Model S? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Alright, moving on to number 6. Number 6 is the Plaid powertrain. Now, Elon Musk has talked about this, and we've seen Tesla testing them out on tracks, but basically the Plaid powertrain is the best powertrain to come in a Tesla. It's expected to beat all sorts of records regarding performance and probably get us beyond that 400-mile range. It's going to be an absolutely ridiculous car, and Tesla's best, at least until that Roadster comes out, maybe in 2021? Now, it is possible that Tesla will come out with this Plaid powertrain before they come out with all of these updates for the refreshed Model S, but as I mentioned earlier, the photos we've seen of the Plaid version of the Model S testing appeared to have that horizontal display, so it will probably come out at the same time, which Elon said would be in either October or November. So, based on Elon time, probably 2021 as well? Real quick, before we get into our last 2 updates to the Model S, make sure to hit that thumbs up if you're enjoying this video. Now, number 7 is the overall design of the Model S, particularly the interior. Looking at some photos of the Model S Plaid, we see some clear design changes and additional vents, but overall it's a normal Model S. So while it would be really nice to see a completely redesigned Model S that when you see it drive down the street, you go, look at that! That's a 2021 Model S. It might not be that obvious. The biggest design changes are probably going to come in the interior with that horizontal display, freeing up more legroom and dash space, allowing for better cup holder placement and more, along with probably a different seating arrangement, which brings us to the finale. Number 8, the return of the rear-facing seats. Back in September, Elon responded to someone's tweet talking about the Model S, and specifically said that in the Plaid version, they're going to be bringing back the 7-seater. Now, the Model S used to have an option for a 3rd row with 2 rear-facing seats that were specifically designed for children. And according to Elon, quote, the new seats will accommodate larger passengers than before. By larger passengers, I think that Elon must just mean older children, because without a complete and total redesign of the Model S, you really can't fit people back there. I'm 5'10", and I sat back there where that 3rd row would go without even seats in there, so the seats would actually raise it up a little bit, and there was no chance of closing that rear hatchback. In the Model S's 3rd row, you just can't fit adults comfortably, and that's probably what it's going to be like in the Model Y 3rd row as well, but we'll get into that in another video. The Model S was revolutionary and will remain one of the most important cars of all time, but I think it's time for Tesla to do a clear overhaul of the car with everything we talked about, and I'm pretty confident that it will happen. Maybe it will happen over time like Elon said, but I think they really need to do a clear refresh so that people can look at the 2021 Model S and say, this is where everything changed. For example, if we look at the Ford Mustang, there have been about 5 total redesigns of that car that really make it stand out and make you say that is a new Mustang. And granted, they have happened around every 10 years or so, so maybe Tesla has 2 more years to squeeze out of the Model S, but it's the same case with other cars, like even the Honda Civic. You can clearly see a major difference between every design iteration of the Honda Civic. And I would love to see the second iteration of the Model S. So does the Model S feel old to you? And what features do you expect them to add soonest? Let me know in the comments below what you think. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe to this channel for lots more videos about Tesla and tech in general. Now, if you're actually buying a Tesla, you can use my referral link in the description below, and that will get you 1,000 free supercharger miles. If you appreciated this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.